2021. My helper is Kelly Zivtins, and she'll be playing the role of Rachel. In this scenario, Rachel hates her job. She has depression and takes medication in an attempt to control it, but she has periods of a few days, sometimes weeks, where she finds it hard to motivate herself. Her boss is not very sympathetic and puts pressure on her to come back if she has time off with her illness. He has in the past discussed private issues she has shared with him with other colleagues. She also feels she is often ridiculed by some of her peers. It pays well enough to get by, but it's not what she wants to do. She has a house and cannot afford to not work while she looks for something else to do. Today, Rachel and myself have a session of psychodynamic therapy. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
I hear you telling me you're okay. Can you tell me what's been going on?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've just been struggling a bit. Well, a lot. Sometimes with work and people and at home, and sometimes it's hard to make myself do what I need to do.
That sounds like it's deeply affecting your life in all areas. Can you give me an example of things you're struggling with?
I mean, sometimes it's hard to wake up and just get out of bed. Sometimes it's hard to go to work. I hate it. It's not a job that I want to do. And really, I don't have anyone I get on with. No one likes me, so I'll keep myself to myself. But I can't afford to quit work because I would lose my house. My boss is horrible. I tried to explain to him that having depression, I have depression. This is why I had to take time off at the start of the month to try and get help. My doctor gave me antidepressants for a few months back, which seemed to be helping a bit, but that 2 weeks they didn't help, and I needed time off because I couldn't get myself out of bed to go to work. Turns out he told a couple of the staff about the issues I was having, and they're not even bosses. Just normal staff, and now they avoid me more than ever, so I don't really want to go to work because of it. And since then I just avoided everyone, like at work and even out of work. I just stay to myself.
Okay, there seems to be a lot going on involved in your work life that's really impacting your entire life at the moment. And a very big situation with your manager that really has affected your ability to trust him. If you look back a little further before the last incident with your manager, was there any situations where you felt the same way, that triggered the same response in you wanting to avoid people and places and situations?
I mean, like at work, really, after a month of working there, I knew it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. The work itself is okay, I guess, but I really didn't fit in with anyone, but I knew I couldn't leave. It was the first real job I got, and I knew if I left that I would be disappointing my dad, and that's just something I can't deal with. I've always disappointed him from when I was little because I never stuck with nothing and never belonged anywhere. I was always different, so I'd just keep changing what I was doing just to try and fit in somewhere.
It's very interesting that you can look back over your life and identify several instances where you feel you have needed to change in your life, but have ultimately felt like no matter what changes you make, you feel like you disappoint your father. When you're identifying these instances of change in your life, it sounds to almost be like a fight or flight response. Like, inside your mind is an internal warning system that goes off because you feel like you don't fit in. And the only way to turn off your internal alarm is to change the situation entirely by avoiding people and places that make you feel vulnerable. And then you embark on a whole new journey to find somewhere where you fit in.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I got scared. I can't add up to what people want me to be. So instead of failing, I just run away. But then I disappoint my family, so it's like I failed anyway.
Rachel, you appear to have clear rationalisations for your actions from what you've told me. Because of your depression, you struggle to motivate yourself. Because of your boss's actions, you feel people are judging you. Because you have never really felt like you belong in a group. You always strive for something different. And because you're searching for belonging, you deeply feel you've always let your father down.
That's right, I'm glad you get it. You're the only one that seems to understand that no matter how hard I try to do my best, I just keep messing it up and failing. And no one sees it hurts me and makes me sad and angry with myself and the deep, dark, endless depression because I still haven't figured out where I belong.
But this time, Rachel, you have made a change. A decision to stay where you're working, even though some days it's really hard. You haven't given in to the scary internal alarm system that's going off inside you, saying, I'm not good enough, I may as well give up. Can you identify what's changed this time?
Well, I never thought of it like that. Even though some days it feels I couldn't do any more wrong with my life. I haven't done what I normally do. Wow, that's amazing. Even though I feel exactly the same inside, on the outside I'm actually doing better than I thought. I don't know what's changed. Maybe the therapy and my meds for the depression, I guess. But I can't believe I've actually changed this. That's crazy.
That seems like a dramatic realisation for you that may have put things into a little bit more of a good perspective.
Yeah, it really has.
Okay, Rachel, we're nearly at the end of our session. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we finish?
Honestly, no. I just can't believe that everything felt so bad an hour ago, and now, it seems like now I can manage it all. It doesn't fit the stuff at work with my boss or the people, but maybe that's something we could work on in the future sessions.
Of course we can. If that's not a specific area you would like to explore in depth, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay, that's a lot to cover this late into the session, but we would explore your thoughts surrounding work, not just your current job, but past employment as well, where you had similar fears, anxieties, different emotions. We could look further back to your earlier life with work ethics from your family and how they shaped your perception of what work and home life should be like compared to your current reality. There's a lot of different facets to your early life we can explore to see how it influenced the way you see yourself in relation to others and the feelings you have surrounding being good or being bad. And you may find we uncover a lot more than work-related emotions that really start to put into perspective what's happening for you here and now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I would really like to do that. I think it could help me loads. I feel a lot more positive now. Thank you so much. I can't wait until our next session.
You've done really well today, Rachel. It's a great foundation to start working on for the next session. Have a good rest of the week and I'll see you next week, Rachel.
Thank you. See you next week. How long was that?